And here are today's headlines. President Rodrigo Duterte gets high performance and trust ratings in the latest Pulse Asia survey. Hundreds of thousands of devotees participate in the procession of the Black Nazarene to Quiapo Church. Authorities begin apprehending smoke-belching public utility vehicles and other violators. Jeffrey the Bull Arienza aims for the vacant OPBF super lightweight title in Japan. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Maroto. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. President Rodrigo Duterte received high performance and trust ratings compared to other top officials in the latest Pulse Asia survey. Malacanang welcomed the results as recognition of the president's achievements. Here's our report.
A latest survey from the Pulse Asia shows majority of Filipinos approve the performance of President Rodrigo Duterte. In its December 2017 poll, Pulse Asia found 80% of Filipinos approve his performance, while 7% disapproved and 13% were undecided. Vice President Leni Robredo got 59% approval rating, while Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III earned 57%. The survey also found the president had a trust rating of 82%, 6% had small or no trust, and 13% were undecided. Malacanang welcomed as good news the survey showing President Duterte as the most trusted and approved government official of the land. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said Filipinos recognize the significant strides the president undertook in his 1.5 years in office. He said Malacanang shows that the president will continue to discharge his duties with the nation's interest foremost in his mind. Meanwhile, an SWS survey showed that 70% of Pinoys say Duterte performed better than former President Benigno Aquino III. Only 8% said the former president performed better than Duterte, while 22% said they had the same performance. The report also said 69% of Filipinos believe that Duterte's performance and actions are appropriate for his position as president. Another 18% said his actions were inappropriate, while 13% were undecided. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno scored the lowest approval and trust rating among top national government officials in a survey released by Pulse Asia. In the December 2017 Pulse Asia poll, the top magistrate earned the highest disapproval ratings with 26%. Pulse Asia said only 31% of Filipinos approved Sereno's performance, while 40% were undecided. Sereno also received a 33% trust rating. Sereno is facing impeachment proceedings before the House of Representatives. The Office of the Solicitor General will file an appeal on the Court of Appeals ruling which cleared former Palawan Governor Joel Reyes in the murder of environmentalist and broadcaster Jerry Ortega. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre said the OSG would have to study if the Reyes acquittal by the appellate court bars the government from filing an appeal. He explained that prosecutors only handle the litigation of the case before the regional trial court. Malacanang, meanwhile, said it will exercise all legal options to reverse the Court of Appeals decision, including the filing of a motion for reconsideration. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, a former private prosecutor of the Ortega case, said the CA ruling overruled an earlier Supreme Court decision that there was probable cause to file a case against Reyes. The former governor was freed after the CA found no basis for the Palawan Regional Trial Court to order his arrest or convict him for Ortega's death. The Special Division of 5 justices of the CA Division voted 3-2 to acquit Reyes. Ortega, who has been hailed as an environmental hero, was gunned down on January 24, 2011 in Puerto Princesa City. Reyes and his brother, former Coron Mayor Mario Reyes, have been tagged as the masterminds behind the killing of Ortega. Some 255 erring public utility vehicles and drivers were apprehended by the Interagency Council for Traffic, or IAC, Monday. IAC started Monday the Tanggal Bulok, Tanggal Usok campaign, which aims to flag down road-unworthy public transport in compliance with the PUV modernization program. Pilot areas for the campaign include EDSA, Commonwealth Avenue, Quezon Avenue, and Marcos Highway. The I-Act is composed of the Department of Transportation, Land Transportation Office, Highway Patrol Group, MMDA, Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, and various traffic enforcement units in Metro Manila. The council said it would strictly enforce on road inspection of public transport vehicles. DOTR Undersecretary Tim Orbos said all public transport that are not roadworthy will be urged to undergo the motor vehicle inspection system. Failure to pass the roadworthiness test, which consists of the body, engine, lights, brakes, tires, horn, battery, and smoke, will result in the suspension of the franchises of PUVs. The Department of Trade and Industry and the Department of Public Works and Highways target to further strengthen linking industries through public infrastructure. The DTI and DPWH held their second national meeting for roads leveraging linkages for industry and trade, or ROLIT program. The two focused on improving criteria and the approval and implementation of future local road projects. The ROLIT program leverages on the success of the Tourism Road Infrastructure Program. Under the ROLIT program, DTI and DPWH jointly plan, monitor, and evaluate industry developing infrastructure projects in priority economic and manufacturing zones in the Philippines. The program also aims to fast-track industry and trade growth as the Duterte administration embarks on the golden age of infrastructure in the country. The manufacturing sector and trade were among the main drivers of the 6.9% economic growth for the third quarter of 2017. The DTI targets for an annual manufacturing growth of more than 10% until 2022. Still to come, hundreds of thousands of devotees participate in the procession of the Black Nazarene to Quiapo Church. The Bureau of Internal Revenue and Customs reports strong revenue collections in 2017. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues. Devotees converged in Manila to participate in this year's Feast of the Black Nazarene. Authorities remain on standby as the image of the Black Nazarene made its way to Quiapo Church in the yearly procession or traslacion. Here's a report.
It's all systems go for Traslacion 2018 or the procession of the Black Nazarene on Tuesday. Father Douglas Badong, parochial vicar of the Minor Basilica of the Black Nazarene or Quiapo Church, said they are ready to push through with the procession no matter what. Activities for the actual feast day started with the midnight mass celebrated by Manila Archbishop Luis Antonio Cardinal Tagle. At 4 a.m., the morning prayer was held before the start of the grand procession from Quirino Grandstand to Quiapo Church along Quezon Boulevard. Minor changes were made in the procession route this year for safety reasons. Father Badong noted that the andas carrying the image has also undergone the necessary checks to ensure it can withstand the entire procession. Devotees also do not have to worry about the image of the Black Nazarene getting wet in case heavy rains occur. Father Badong said they have prepared a transparent raincoat specially made for the image, which ensures it will remain in public view. The Joint Task Force National Capital Region meanwhile said the worst-case scenario for Tuesday's traslasyon is a stampede. JTF NCR Head Brigadier General Alan Arojado said both police and military units tasked to secure the annual religious event are trained to do systematic evacuation or first aid. The JTF NCR chief stressed that they have yet to detect any terror threats. Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections suspended work in its central office in Manila in line with the Feast of the Black Nazarene. Earlier, Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada declared suspension of classes and work in local government offices to give way to the event. For security purposes, telecommunications provider Globe temporarily suspended its mobile services within the vicinity of the procession until the image of the Black Nazarene returns to the Quiapo Church. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
The Sandigan Bayan suspended 3 Department of Agriculture officials based in Davao City for 90 days while under litigation. The 3 stand trial for violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. The act provides that any incumbent officer facing criminal prosecution in court shall be suspended from office. The accused were all members of the Technical Working Group on the procurement of disinfectants in 2012. The Ombudsman found that the 3 entered into a disadvantageous contract with FKA Agri Chemical. They procured 38 drums of disinfectant amounting to 3 million pesos despite the existence of a lower bid from another qualified bidder amounting to only 2.65 million pesos. The anti-graft court dismissed the argument of the defense that the accused are not in a position to tamper with any kind of evidence. It expounded that they have been meted only a preventative suspension and not a penalty to prevent them from hampering the prosecution. The Bureaus of Customs and Internal Revenue posted increased collections in 2017 as the government firms up to increase spending on the administration's programs. Here's our report.
Both the Bureau of Internal Revenue and Bureau of Customs posted double-digit growth in their collections in 2017. Citing data from the Bureau of Treasury, Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said indicative collections of the BIR rose by 12.5%, while that of the BOC improved year-on-year by 17%. As of end November last year, revenues rose by 11% year-on-year to 2.25 trillion pesos. Of the total, the BIR shared in 1.62 trillion pesos, while BOC's contribution amounted to 413.1 billion pesos. BIR was tasked to collect 1.83 trillion pesos in 2017 and BOC 468 billion pesos. Collections of the BIR rose 12% in the first 11 months last year, while BOC's went up by 14%. Dominguez said preliminary figures shows that government spending improved by 13.8% year-on-year in 2017. The Duterte government has set a 2.91 trillion peso spending goal for 2017. Dominguez tasked the BIR and BOC to firm up their collections since this is needed to fund the Duterte administration's program, particularly on infrastructure and social services. Infrastructure spending is a major program of the current government as it targets to spend around 8.4 trillion pesos until 2022. The government has programmed to increase infrastructure investment from around 5% of the gross domestic product to about 7.4% of GDP by the end of its term. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Mundo.
Davao City Mayor Inday Sara Duterte extended food and financial assistance to victims of the flood brought by Tropical Storm Vinta. Recipients from in Barangay Gumalang, Barangay Lacson, Barangay Ducada, and Barangay Pangyan received between 3 to 10,000 pesos. The mayor is also set to visit other barangays severely affected by the flood. The Davao City Social Services and Development Office has listed down nearly 23,000 families affected by the flood brought by Vinta. The flood has left over 80 million pesos in damages in infrastructure and agriculture in Davao City. The new commander of the Philippine Army's 5th Infantry Division covering Region 2 and the Cordillera has vowed to continue the national government's campaign against terrorist groups. Brigadier General Perfecto Rimando Jr., a member of the Philippine Military Academy Class 1986, formally accepted his new post in Monday morning's turnover of command at Camp Melchor F. de la Cruz in Upi, Gamu, Isabela. The ceremony was presided by Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Rolando Joselito Bautista. Rimando replaced Major General Paul Atal, who assumed leadership of the AFP Central Command in the Visayas region. Rimando vowed to continue the programs and projects of the command, particularly the campaign against terrorist groups. The new chief urged its personnel to make themselves professionally competent in their respective duties. Rimando also called for the people of Region 2 and the Cordillera to continue to actively support the government efforts towards peace and development. Up next, the Philippine Coast Guard seizes millions of pesos worth of suspected smuggled rice off Zamboanga Sibugay. Jeffrey the Bull Arianza aims for the vacant OPBF Super Lightweight title in Japan. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns. Malacanang released the appointment of Elson Hermojino as new commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard. President Rodrigo Duterte signed Hermojino's appointment paper last January 4, replacing PCG Commandant Rear Admiral William Melad. Hermojino is a member of the Philippine Military Academy Class of 1985 and was a Maritime Safety Service Commander prior to his appointment. President Duterte also approved the appointment of PCG Rear Admirals Jose Garcia, Rolando Legaspi, and Leopoldo Laroya. The Coast Guard is one of the attached agencies of the Department of Transportation. Philippine Coast Guard personnel intercepted a shipment of rice worth about 125 million pesos believed to be smuggled off Olutanga, Zamboanga, Sibugay. The cargo vessel MVJ Fia was intercepted Sunday morning southwest of Olutanga Island. Captain Ronnie Hill Gavan, Coast Guard District Southwestern Mindanao Commander, said Coast Guard elements found out that the vessel and its crew as well as the cargo were all undocumented. The vessel was loaded with around 50,000 sacks of rice of 50 kilos each. Gavan said they have yet to determine the point of origin and destination of MVJ Fia, although it is clear the crew are all Filipinos. They have taken the vessel and its crew into custody for violation of the Philippines Coast Guard Law of 2009. An investigation team is underway to determine other possible violations. Filipino boxer Jeffrey the Bull Arianza will face Japan's Riki Naito for the vacant Oriental and Pacific Boxing Federation Super Lightweight title on January 13 at the Korakuen Hall in Japan. The title was vacated by Australian Darragh Foley, who defended it successfully last June 23 against Arianza. Arianza won the vacant WBC Asian Boxing Council Super Lightweight crown by knocking out Indonesian Willem Rake in 2016. The native of Surigao City lost by an 11th round TKO to Akihiro Kondo in the same year for the vacant WBO Asia Pacific Super Lightweight title. The 27-year-old southpaw last won by a third-round TKO to Ronald Postrano at the SM Mall of Asia. Naito, on the other hand, previously won against then unbeaten by Shanbo na si Yuwala of China last October 20. He also beat Thailand's Natafon Srigoso last September 1 and won a unanimous decision over compatriot Yusaki Nakagawa last April 10. For devotees of the Black Nazarene, the Traslacion is a spiritual experience where they brave the odds to prove the strength of their faith. One devotee tells us what it takes to pledge one's devotion to the Black Nazarene. Here's our report.
The yearly Traslacion or movement, the holy image of the Black Nazarene, attracts devotees from all walks of life from all over the country, each with his or her own story to tell on the journey that have embarked on towards their own spiritual enlightenment. Brian Burse, a devotee of 17 years, narrates that his encounter with the Black Nazarene began during his college years when he frequented the Quiapo Church to seek guidance, following the untimely death of his father and the downward spiral of a business that gave them some comfort in life. Thousands of devotees go to Quiapo to see the Hari or King to seek a variety of favors, prayers concerning health, financial stability, emotional and physical healing, and many requests. But Bursa simplifies his own, his family's health and long life, and not material things or money. Bursa notes that a devotee must take to heart the symbolism of the Traslacion. The maroon color of their clothing and general motive symbolizes the blood of Christ, or humility and passion to lay down his life for the sins of mankind. This he demonstrates when he and other devotees brave the odds, just to be able to reach the float that transports the Black Nazarene. On some occasions, ordinary bystanders who happen to be at the Traslacion route get pulled in by the frenzy and they become among the pullers themselves. And while some prefer to leave their faith to God, Bursa stresses the importance of good physical condition when participating in the Traslacion because of the immense physical demands of the activity. For the last 17 years, Bursa has been making the journey, but his prayers for his family remain the same. Such is his plea and reason for devotion to the beloved Black Nazarene. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country.
About 4.5 million devotees have been recorded participating in this year's Traslacion of the image of the Black Nazarene. The NCRPO earlier estimated the crowd in the procession of the Black Nazarene at over 229,000 as of Tuesday noon. Devotees gathered near Quiapo Church was placed at 200,000. The MMDA gave medical assistance to devotees who are taking part in the annual procession. The agency has deployed around 1,300 personnel since January 5 for this year's Feast of the Black Nazarene. The MMDA Road Emergency Group treated 238 hypertension cases, 82 suffering from various ailments, 10 injured, and 4 pregnant women from January 7 to January 9 this morning. The Road Emergency Group installed tents at the Quirino Grandstand to provide medical assistance for the devotees who participated in the Pahalik and Traslacion. The MMDA is also helping the Manila Police District or MPD in ensuring crowd control. The Sidewalk Clearing Operations Group and Metro Parkway Clearing Group will be cleaning up the debris left behind after the procession. It will assist the Manila City Local Government Unit in providing first aid measures and clearing operations of the routes where the Black Nazarene will pass through. The Red Cross and other volunteers have also been spotted providing medical and other assistance to devotees. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Let's take another look at today's headlines. President Rodrigo Duterte gets high performance and trust ratings in the latest Pulse Asia survey. Hundreds of thousands of devotees participate in the procession of the Black Nazarene to Quiapo Church. Authorities begin apprehending smoke-belching public utility vehicles and other violators. Jeffrey the Bull Arianza aims for the vacant OPBF Super Lightweight title in Japan. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Moroto. Good day.